In a world filled with hate, malice, and despair, where pain and death are the only promise, Teclis, High Loremaster of Hoeth and Warden of the White Tower, has ever been a beacon in the darkness, a solid rock upon which the forces of chaos and the hated Druchii would break, and break again. The finest mage since Kalidor the Dragon Tamer, creator of the Great Vortex which siphons chaos energy from the planet, it was Teclis who founded the colleges of magic in Altdorf, who taught humanity how to harness and control the winds of magic. It was Teclis who banished the greater demon Nakari to the realms of chaos, and it was Teclis who cast Malekith the Witch King back into the abyss in their climactic battle at the Fin of all Plains. Through fire and death, through driving rain and hellish warp storms, treachery and triumph, soaring highs and untold sorrow, Teclis has marched through the long millennia, ever a bastion of hope for the High Elves of Ulthuan and the world at large. He has faced down the greatest monsters and demons and conquered, weaved some of the finest spells the world has ever known, seen humanity's capacity for greatness, and spied the evil that lurks in the hearts of men. The blood of AENARION flows through his veins and those of his brother, as does his curse, one that has left his body frail and weak, but his mind sharper than any other. The twin-tailed comet has destabilized the Great Vortex, threatening the world with a cataclysmic invasion the likes of which the world has not seen since the reign of the first Phoenix King. Now, the Order of the Loremasters sails to Lustria, the domain of the Children of the Old Ones, a dense, terrifying jungle infested with ratmen and prehistoric creatures from a bygone age. Here, he will forge a new empire with which to protect the world and his people, banishing the malevolent forces that oppose him and gathering arcane artifacts with which he can prevent Armageddon. As the fate of the planet hangs in the balance, the Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and Servants of the Horned Rat will manipulate the Vortex for their own gains, but it is the Order of Loremasters whose magic will tip the scales. Thus, will Teclis' legend endure long after heroes of the sword have been forgotten, for his actions shape not a battle, nor even a campaign, but the future of the world itself. The time has come, the dream is real. I'm Any Pride from Milk and Cookies Total War, and the NDA for Total War Warhammer 2 has lifted, which means we'll be playing the Great Vortex campaign with Teclis and the Order of Loremasters, who have sailed all the way from their home continent of Ulthuan to the dense jungles of Lustria in the southwest corner of the Great Vortex campaign map. Looking at the race attributes, we've got Intrigue. You can accumulate influence throughout the course of your campaign, which can be spent on superior lords or used to affect diplomacy between factions, which can be a gigantic boon to your trade output, which I'll talk about as we get into the campaign. Espionage, so you're really encouraged to trade a lot with other factions because you'll get vision of their trade routes and of their settlements. And martial prowess, which there's been a lot of debate about, of course. Superior coordination in melee combat when High Elves enter battle at full strength. So when they're above 50% HP, they'll be getting +2 melee attack and +12 melee defense on top of their base stats. Looking at the faction effects, we'll get diplomatic relations +10 with men and High Elves, and a massive boost to our hero recruit rank for mages, so +5 as soon as you recruit them into your faction, and a +30 Winds of Magic Power Reserve. So Teclis has a gigantic casting pool. As you can understand, he is one of the best casters in the history of Warhammer Fantasy, and an automatic bound spell, Fireball, that he starts with. We'll be starting with the Sword Masters of Hoeth, armor-piercing bonus versus infantry, beasts in melee, and the Frostheart Phoenix with a slowing aura and a melee attack debuff. So pretty powerful units to start with. Let's jump into the Order of Loremasters campaign, and we'll see you on the campaign map itself.
Who are the Asur? An enigma to men and dwarfs, who know them as High Elves. At the center of the great ocean lies Ulthuan, a paradise created by the Old Ones. But when the stellar gates collapsed, demons flooded the mortal plane. All was lost until AENARION the Defender strode forth. The first Phoenix King vanquished the demons with the aid of the Archmage, Kalidor Dragon Tamer. It was Kalidor and his elven mages who created the Great Vortex. A swirling maelstrom that siphoned the excess magic, withering demonkind. With the world purged of chaos, the elves took it upon themselves to become guardians and stewards. The twin-tailed comet is oft seen as an omen, but this time its wake brought great peril.
The dragon with two tails flies lower than before. Its trail disturbs the vortex.
I have felt a change in the winds of magic.
Then write it, brother. Lead the mages of Safari. Bring all in the White Tower to bear if you must.
Such lore is currently beyond us.
I suggest a scrying ritual in the Pool of Isha. It may provide us with the answer.
Such a ritual requires fragments of fallen waystones. Far more than we have.
Then we find more. Make ready your ritual, Loremaster Talarian. You will have your fragments.
I shall start the search in Lustria.
Lustria?
My brother will search here, in Ulthuan.
Why do you care so much about the greater world?
Why do you not? Stay here, brother. Protect Ulthuan. But I venture beyond our borders.
And while you meddle in far-flung continents, I will ensure you have a home to return to.
Sons of Ulthuan, pupils of Hoeth, we do not come upon this place lightly. The world is in dire peril, and it falls to us once more to save it. The Great Vortex is vulnerable, and those of dark intent would seek to draw its power for themselves. This cannot come to pass. By gathering way fragments scattered across the world during the events of the Sundering, we may gain means to avert the collapse of the Vortex. This search takes us far from home, to the rich jungles of the lizards. The inhabitants of Lustria may resist our intrusion, but our cause must prevail. The Vortex must be secured, lest the world drown in a tide of chaos.
And so it begins, with Teclis, the greatest elven mage living. The Great Turtle Isle will forge a new empire in Lustria. Maybe expand in the Southlands, maybe invade Nagaroth. Don't really know how this campaign's going to go yet, but there is a lot of interesting stuff to do in this Great Vortex campaign. I've gotten a chance to play a few campaigns now, not all the way through, not even close, but maybe 50 or 60 turns in with a couple other campaigns, and I settled on Teclis. There were quite a few choices. I honestly think Malekith is the most badass Lord character in the game, but I wanted to go for the High Elves because one, Lionheart and Pixelated Apollo already got that first campaign, and I think the Order of Loremasters has a really cool start position. So we'll be using the Intrigue at Court, Espionage, and a bunch of the new mechanics in the Great Vortex campaign to try and take control, forge this little new empire in the southwest corner of the map. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Our boy Loremaster Talarian wants us to conquer and occupy a settlement belonging to the Sentinels of Zeddy. Lizardmen sub-faction to our north in Golden Ziggurat, to our east in Sentinels of Zeddy, and also to our east in the Golden Colossus in the desert. So first thing we're going to do here, after we take a look at these missions, trying to generate some influence, we are going to build some troops, because we're going to take Golden Ziggurat first. You can actually move across these islands right here and go straight for the settlement. So I could go for Sentinels of Zeddy first, but then that would leave my back open. I don't want to leave Great Turtle Isle exposed, and it's probably best to get at least these two settlements under control. Maybe take Mud Isles, explore that, before we move on to the Lustrian subcontinent itself. So let's take a look here. We can upgrade to archers with light armor, which are pretty strong. Don't have a whole lot to do in terms of building. We're going to go right here to the edge and recruit some troops. Now, again, we're starting that Frostheart Phoenix. Take a look at the effects it has. So we've got the Blizzard Aura for a 30-meter radius, -9 melee attack, -10% armor-piercing damage. So when you land that on a big group of units, you can debuff quite a few of them and attune to magic. So as long as your mana is higher than 50%, your remaining mana, you'll get a damage resistance aura. If you use too much of your mana, then your Phoenix basically loses that damage resistance and loses the... You basically want the Winds of Magic blowing strong if you want your Phoenix to be very powerful. So it also causes terror, causes fear, pretty useful starting unit, and of course the Swordmasters of Hoeth, which are just like infantry blenders. They'll slaughter everything in melee.
Of the White Tower.
We're going to get some archers. We're going to focus more on archers in the early game because they're just so good against the Lizardmen. We only need a few spearmen to hold the line, and then archers will just rip up the rest of them. And of course Teclis has that really powerful magic. It's only going to take a couple battles before we get most of our bound spells and the really important stuff that will do the DPS required that we really want. And then we can expand towards Sentinels of Zeti and take them out. I think we're going to be pretty much going to war with this sub-faction mostly to start off with, and then we'll definitely very early on in the campaign want to take Chamber of Visions to get the ritual resource sites. So essentially, when you get these ritual resource sites, you every turn generate waystones or way fragments that will get you to your rituals faster, and that's pretty important because getting to the last ritual is how you win the campaign. So yeah, pretty big deal. Hit end turn here. So one of the things that's really important with the High Elves, especially the Order of Loremasters, but also with Tyrion and his campaign in Ulthuan, is you want to get a ton of trade agreements going. Not only because it gives you a ton of vision of the map, which is really important in and of itself, but it also is very important because it gives you an insane economy. One of the things about the High Elves is a lot of their settlements have their own trade resources, and when you stack that up with all these trade agreements that you're generating and all these buildings that improve how much money you get from trade to start with, you basically form the base of your economy through trade. And you can use influence, these influence points that we're going to be generating throughout the course of the campaign through missions and through events. Those are super important because you can make pretty much any faction you want love you and want to trade with you. And when you're trading with a faction, and a lot of them, you suddenly get this gigantic economy where you can basically afford whatever troops you want. So that's going to be the game plan. It'll probably be a bit before we start rolling in the dough, before we really start generating a lot of those trade agreements, but that'll definitely be one of the main focuses of the campaign because it provides the base for the rest of the entire campaign.
You require assistance?
So I'm not too worried about what's in here. It's only 5 units, so I actually don't need to even build any more troops just yet. I'll just take it right now.
Gods! For the king!
And we can just auto-resolve it. We'll definitely be playing a lot of battles in this campaign. One thing I have noticed is that, and thankfully this was a very good change, and I'm sure Legend of Total War going to be very happy, you can't just auto-resolve your way through the game. And there's probably ways to cheese it and still kind of be a cheese lord, but for the most part, if you are even remotely kind of even armies, you can't just spam one unit and auto-resolve and expect to not lose stuff. Like, you will lose entire units and lose your chevrons and that kind of thing, and it's pretty punishing. Auto-resolve can be pretty punishing, so we're definitely not going to be auto-resolving our way through the campaign. Lots of battles on the way, definitely in this first part as well.
Spoils for Ulthuan.
But we're just going to occupy these opening settlements. Remember, the climates are going to be very important here. Suitable climate. Anything with a suitable climate we'll probably want to take control of. Something like over here, Golden Colossus. Look at this debuff. -3 public order, plus 50% construction cost for all buildings, lower replenishment rate, lower growth, 100% construction time increase, and recruitment duration. Like, it's bad. Income from all buildings, -50%. You don't want to be conquering desert settlements. I mean, we could seal off this settlement by taking it and then just like razing it to the ground, making sure that stuff doesn't come up behind us, but from a economy perspective, not good to capture those kind of settlements whatsoever. So kind of an interesting way to deal with the regional occupation deal. We're going to upgrade Haven here. Well, you know what? It takes a while with Great Turtle Isle. The growth isn't very good. So it might even be better to just leave this at level 1 because it's not that important. Wait until we get 2 growth so we can get this up to an elven colony and get 2 extra buildings. So we'll wait for that. And in the meantime, we'll get a little economy going. So elven trinkets, a lot of you can stack these up and get tons of trade goods that really help with your trade agreements. Not worried. Yeah, growth is important, but I think economy is more so. So we'll go for an elven craftsman. And take a look at diplomacy real quick. Let's see how we're doing with other factions. So Citadel of Dust.
Guardian of the Phoenix Crown.
Faction in the southeast corner, the tip of Lustria, rather.
I bid you welcome, traveler. What would you wish to discuss?
See if we can just get a trade agreement right here.
Wise indeed.
So this trade agreement right now is going to generate very little revenue for us, which is fine. You'll see in about 20, 30 turns or so, that'll probably be up to 800 or 1,000 if I play my cards right. If I have everything conquered that I want to have conquered, have the buildings that I want in place, we'll be generating tons of revenue from that trade agreement. So that'll be pretty important.
Cruel and deadly.
I'm not going to go to war with Bloodhole Coven just yet because I want to get rid of this Lizardmen sub-faction first, and then we can focus on taking that Way Fragment settlement. Let's take a look at his skill tree here. So Teclis' skill tree, pretty interesting. We can start with Flock of Doom, although we actually already have it, and we have Fireball and Enfeebling Foe, so those are his 3 opening spells that you start with. He doesn't quite have... Well, okay, he has a very interesting skill tree in terms of his spell selection. So we've got Net of Avantok, exceptionally good, especially when paired with Chain Lightning. The AI loves to blob, so if you get them in a choke point, plop a net on them, and then Chain Lightning them, devastation. Evisceration on the enemy lines, which is always fun. We're going to work towards Flames of the Phoenix, which gives us Fiery Convocation, a Lore of High Magic spell, very nice. He has 2 special items. He doesn't have his Moonstaff of Lilith, but he does have Sword of Teclis and the War Crown of Sapphire. Both give us some pretty nice buffs. Early on, it's going to be boring, but you got to go with Route Marcher. It's just that 10% campaign movement range can be so beneficial over the course of a campaign. I think most people probably start with that. So we'll start with that as well. We've got plenty of spells already. Great Turtle Isle is going to have some public order problems early on, but it's whatever. Thinking about going down and take Mud Isles next. And we're going to turn that off because some of the... Well, I really love the new UI, and I love this system here. You can customize it to have it basically tell you if you haven't moved a Lord, haven't moved a hero, haven't built something that you're supposed to build, but we don't need the settlement upgrade thing because what I like to do is I like to not upgrade my settlements early on. I don't like to waste the growth point and instead wait for my bigger settlements. Like I want Great Turtle Isle to have a better start basically. So we're gonna turn the settlement upgrade thing off and then hit turn and move on over. I'm actually going to leave the ritual site for now just so I don't let the Sentinels of Zeti build up. Because if I let them go for too long and try to go deal with those ruins, then they're going to be even stronger by the time I land on the mainland, and I don't really want to deal with that. So we've gotten more influence here. Not enough. Usually it's about between 4 or 5, and then as the campaign moves on, it'll be about 10, and later on it'll maybe be even higher than that. How much influence it costs to basically make a faction love you more. But there are 2 ways to use influence, right? You can either recruit very good generals. Actually, I'll show some of those off right now. There's some really cool ones. I believe they're also different for Tyrion and Teclis. Let's see here. Yeah, so in Tyrion's campaign, you actually get access to a white lion, where if you spend 30 influence, you get a literal white lion that looks like Corhill, captain of the White Lions, and he gets gigantic buffs to a white lion recruitment, like minus 25% upkeep, some really powerful stuff. So basically, the more influence you spend, the better traits you're going to get from these lords. So if you spend 15 influence here, you're going to get plus 100 recruitment experience gain per turn, or plus 3 melee defense for every unit in the lord's army. If you spend 60, you can get stuff like Doctrinal, like really big buffs, 10% weapon strength for a bunch of different units, plus 5 melee attack. Look at those. Like, those are really powerful. Plus 250 instead of plus 100, that kind of stuff. If you don't spend any influence whatsoever, your lords and lordesses, your princesses are kind of stupid. So you get minus 50% ambush success chance, plus 10% upkeep for a bunch of different units. Terrible. Like, you would never want to recruit this lord. Fae, minus 10% magic resistance. That doesn't matter at all, so that might be a lord that if you don't want to spend influence, you wouldn't really care if you recruited that, because that negative trait isn't so bad. But that's one way to spend influence. The other is to either make factions hate each other or make them love you. And I think the best way to do it in this campaign is to make factions love you and just get a bunch of trade agreements going and form that incredible economy. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on doing. We're going to build some more spearmen. Not too worried about Lothar and Seaguard, don't need them yet. And I'm basically going to be spamming archers. You'll see I'll absolutely melt enemy infantry units in about 2 seconds. Military advancements, we're going to go into that and probably work our way to militia training, although we'll honestly probably have to deal with all these technologies before we advance to anything else, because you'll see, that's just how it ends up working out. I could go for trade advancements early on, but you need specific buildings that I don't really care to build very early on in the campaign. Military advancements, they're pretty similar to what you've seen in other skill trees. Upkeep, reduction for different units, higher experience, that kind of thing. I wouldn't say the High Elf skill tree is incredibly satisfying or interesting, but it's powerful, of course, once you build all the way up to the late stage cultural advancements and late stage military advancements. You're getting really powerful stuff. Minus 5% upkeep for all sword masters, which will probably fill the bulk of our infantry as we get into the later stages of the campaign. That kind of thing.
By the gods.
So, we'll end turn here. And pretty early on, one of the best ways to start getting those trade agreements going is to recruit a noble, not a lord. You want like a hero unit that you can just kind of go to scout around the map. Hopefully I'll be given one early on, and basically just scout over across the Southlands and scout to Ulthuan, most importantly, because we actually don't get a look here at Ulthuan. We haven't discovered the faction yet, which is a little bit silly, but I think that's because you're encouraged to explore the campaign map. So yeah, all these factions in Ulthuan, Lothern, Tyrian subfaction, we don't have them on our diplomacy screen yet, so we need to scout those out, and then we'll be able to start forming those trade agreements once we use our influence points to make them love us. They might not love us at the start, but they will once we've used some of our influence. So, units recruited. We're going to do a little bit more recruitment here, and then very, very soon we'll sail over to Sentinels of Zeti and take that. No matter what they have in there, once we have the 20 stack, we'll be able to deal with them. So we're going to probably just spam end turn here after we get... Yeah, we'll go for that, and then for the archery prowess right after that. And move on over. So, I don't know exactly yet where we're going to be going once we land on Lustria and take out Sentinels of Zeti. Of course, Chamber of Visions, very important settlement to take early on. Probably take out Blood Hall after that, because the Blood Coven in general, or whatever what subfaction is this? Yeah, Blood Hall Coven, they're going to be breathing down our neck pretty early on. After that, I think we've got Clan Scryer right around here somewhere. No, they do not have unique units or anything that are like specific to that Clan Scryer subfaction. They're not like Clan Pestilence yet, but I assume we will be getting some pretty cool Clan Scryer stuff once Ikit Claw, probably get our Warplock Jezzails and the, what was the other, I forgot the other unit that was missing.
It's a rattling gun. Nobody else sounds like that.
Yeah, let me know in the comment section. I'm blanking right now. Yeah, so we're gonna keep Golden Ziggurat going with that +2 public order buff here for a little bit longer. Do a little bit more recruitment, 2 more archers. Yeah, we need a bit more infantry. So we'll go 2 more spearmen. And then we'll go sailing. That is one thing that I'd really like to see in this campaign at some point. It doesn't have to be naval combat in general, but I would like the ability to actually build ships. Because right now, I don't think the elves get any additional bonuses to their auto-resolve. I think only the Dark Elves really have their naval prowess shown in this game with the addition of the Black Arcs. I'm not sure what the added bonus is to a Black Arc and auto-resolve. I would assume they basically auto-win any fight they take on the open seas. But High Elves don't get their dragon ships or anything badass like that, which is a little bit unfortunate, but...
My infinite knowledge
you know what? Screw that. Screw the end turn here. Not even important. We're gonna...
By the gods.
Go in. Yeah, Golden Ziggurat and Great Turtle Isle will be a little bit upset, but they'll get over it. And we will sail. So in about 3 turns, we'll be able to Siege that. How many turns until the next? Alright, so 7 turns until I can build an elven colony in Great Turtle Isle. So, Loremaster Tolarian wants us to sign a non-aggression pact with the Spine of Sotek Dwarfs, who are right here to the east of the Sentinels of Zeti. They're right in this little mountain pass right here, so that'll be fine, because I don't really want to conquer those mountainous regions anyway. They don't really benefit me, and I can probably get a good trade agreement going with them if I capture the right settlements. Now, these guys, Loqui, the Slan Mage Priest, already has an army going, so we're 2 turns out, it looks like. We're gonna force march it here. Yeah, we'll be able to disembark. And by the way, if you're wondering, the new toggle is R if you want to move your characters. It's not spacebar anymore, because spacebar brings up the overlay. We're not going to have to worry too much about Skaven early on in this campaign. I'm not actually sure what's in Mud Isles. Maybe that is a Skaven faction. I'm not exactly sure. But besides Clan Scryer, which is right about here, we're really not going to have to worry very much about the middle. Clan Pestilence might push to the west, but I don't think we'll see them for quite a bit. We're not going to be expanding into this desert, as I already showed, with the uninhabitable climate. Just a terrible way to go. Caverns of the Great Bay, so Spine of Sotek Dwarfs are right there. We finally got vision of them. Next turn, we'll attack, and hopefully they'll just sally out and attack us. I don't think this is a walled settlement. No, it's not. So it'll just be a land battle. That shouldn't be a problem. And that'll be the first battle of the campaign. So next turn, we're going to move in and give those lizards good old smacking. Yeah, come at me, boy. Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb of you. That was really dumb of you. You don't get the garrison now either. I'm in forced march, so I guess I'll suffer these debuffs. Yeah, I'll be tired and I won't be able to retreat, but who cares? So we're going to quick save it there and go to the battle. I'll see you on the battlefield in just a minute. Yeah, I think we'll start this battle with a look at our beautiful Articuno. Legendary bird. This thing is a beast in melee. It's actually a really cool starting unit. I mean, I'd rather have like a Star Dragon or something, like a top tier dragon would be real nice, but I'll take it. You don't get, not quite as fun as Tyrion's Flamespire Phoenix, unfortunately, because you don't get the bombs. But in terms of that minus melee attack aura, and its melee capabilities in general, very tanky, very survivable, and really enjoy it. And it does have some synergy with Tyrion as well. So, speaking of Tyrion, or I said Tyrion, Jesus, Teclis. Yeah, it's a Teclis campaign. We're not playing Tyrion. I actually have played Tyrion's campaign, and I was very much thinking about doing it. Let me be real clear about what I was going to do. I was going to do a Malekith campaign, because straight up, the Witch King is the most badass character, legendary lord in the entire game, followed probably pretty closely by Mazdamundi, in terms of what you're able to do with their skill trees, the fact they're both caster beasts and amazing in melee. Like with Malekith, you drop Blade Wind on a blob, you get like 300 kills a cast, and then you go in with the Seraphon, the Black Dragon, and eat everything alive. It's glorious. So I wanted to do Malekith. Lionheart and Pixelated Apollo took that idea away from me, so I'm skipping out on the Dark Elves campaign, and I still wanted to do High Elves. So I tried out the Ulthuan campaign with Tyrion, and Tyrion is kind of boring. Like, he's just a melee lord. Like, literally, he has very few unique stuff to do. Like, you kind of just run into melee and beat stuff up, but he doesn't have a cool monstrous mount or anything that really differentiates him. He has Malhandir. Like, look, I like Tyrion a lot. He's cool, but from a gameplay perspective, not as much fun as some of the other characters. So, I decided on Teclis because Tyrion's campaign is mostly you just fight High Elves for, like, the first 50 or so turns. You're basically just consolidating your hold on Ulthuan, and so you only come, once you get rid of that first Dark Elf Rebellion, it's pretty much only High Elves that you fight. With Teclis, you get a much more interesting start position, and you get a lot more to do in terms of your casting and your killing potential. There are a lot more ways and more creative ways you can kill your enemies. So that's why I decided on the Loremasters of Hoeth and the Order of the Loremasters in Lustria. So we're gonna get our dudes out of skirmish mode and make sure they start focusing down these enemy skirmishers. I mean, look at those skink skirmishers. Just, oh, it's not even fair, dude. Not even fair. So skink skirmishers will die in about 2 seconds. We'll get our spearmen in the front lines here, moving up. And we'll start casting some Flock of Dooms. Let's move them up a bit, and then get a fireball off. Get your charges in. Start shooting at different targets. Pull Teclis back. And spears go in. We'll drop Enfeebling Troll on one of these. I meant to do that on Saurus Warriors, but actually I don't know if they have any Saurus. One thing I will say about this game, it is goddamn gorgeous, dude. And it runs way better than Game 1, which was something I was not expecting at all, honestly. The game is way... Ooh, that was a big little one spell. The game is way better optimized than Game 1, for sure. Like, it's super noticeable. Look at this, I'm at 60 FPS in close-ups. I never got that in Game 1. It is so much... it's so good, dude. It's such a good addition to the game. I should get my Phoenix in there, by the way. Yeah, just like better frame rates overall. We're gonna kill this Land Mage Priest actually in about 2 seconds here. Get our Swordmasters into melee. Get some Swordmaster close-ups because I know you guys were looking for that. Oh my god, look at that Slam Mage Priest. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're dying. You're dying so fast. But yeah, like if like on the Norske campaign, you look at my close-ups, usually you're hovering around like 35, 40, 40. Oh god. Just puff of magic. He's gone. And that's gonna be Swordmaster just getting close up to you real quick. Yeah, the game just runs better. It looks better visually, way better. The soundtrack is also amazing. I like Total War Warhammer soundtrack as well. I liked it a lot actually, and maybe it'll get old. But I will say the songs that I've heard first from the Total War Warhammer 2 soundtrack are super, super good. So let's get Teclis up here. I do want to pop another Flock of Doom on them, because anything that I kill here I don't have to deal with later, so this battle is always going to be easy. And by the way, combat does last longer. That is absolutely for sure. It's not massively longer, but you'll see with some particular matchups and particular units, like you have Spearmen against Spearmen or something, like high defense units, they will fight. I mean, I've seen fights between 2 infantry units go upwards of 6, 7, sometimes 8 minutes if they're low tier enough. So your average battle is probably still going to be less than 10 minutes multiplayer. Yeah, if that was game 1, that would have been like a 10, 15 FPS drop right there. But yeah, they've made some serious improvements in terms of graphical fidelity and in terms of how well the game runs, which I'm very happy about. So, easy battle. They're going to book it back to their home settlement. I don't know if they'll be able to make it back in this turn. But the High Elf Archers are so good. The Archer spam in general. Fantastic. So we got 1,600 gold from that battle. Let's take a look. We want more unit replenishment. One thing that I have noticed is kind of hidden behind the code, which was a really nice implementation just from a lore perspective, is that the elves will replenish units very, very slowly. If you don't force labor on armies after you beat them in combat, look at that. Or, I mean, I guess I'm not going to be getting replenishment anyway, but you'll see, like, you'll get like 4 or 5 dudes a turn sometimes, and it's very, very slow. Which is true to the lore, right? I mean, when you've got a dwindling population and it takes, well, I guess it only takes like 15 or 20 years like a normal person to become fully fledged adult, but the problem is that they live thousands and thousands of years. So, and frankly, I think the High Elves kind of have some weird stuff about sex. They don't really procreate probably as much as they should. So yeah, they are a dwindling population, and replenishment takes a long time. What are we gonna do here? Money's nice. That's 850 gold, but I don't want to lose any units either. Probably just force labor here. They are gonna... No, they're not gonna make it back to Sentinel Society. Oh, they are. So it's on their turn they will. They'll get a bit of replenishment there actually, which kind of sucks. So I will have to fight their garrison. So I think I made the right call there. We're probably just gonna go into another battle right away. Chamber of Vision. So in a couple turns here, once we've dealt with the Golden Colossus, we'll go and attack the Dark Elf settlement, get some more way fragments. Araby Sandstone. Araby confirmed, boys! Araby DLC on the way, we know it. No, as we know, I think Tomb Kings are probably going to be the first. And in fact, on Total War Twitter today, Grace was hinting at the Tomb Kings, a sword of golden, or Jesus, a sword glowing purple, an undead
Master
pyramid
of the
basically.
White
So that
Tower.
was a pretty cool little hint there. Araby sandstone, so definitely want to do some construction soon. Minus 15% construction cost. Alright, let's get you out of
Hoeth
force march
grants you wisdom. Attack!
and attack. So it doesn't really like our chance on auto-resolve. If I auto-resolve this, if I was lucky, I might win, but I'd lose half my army. So definitely not worth it. We'll do a siege battle. So we'll go into High Elf battering ram there. Only issue here is that I have less spearmen in this that I would really like, honestly, and that old blood is going to be kind of annoying in melee. But I have a lot of archers, and as you saw, they do some serious damage, and I've got the frost heart, so quick save it there.
The
Wait to get that
gods
battering
have
ram.
spoken. I will give you victory.
Tyrion can actually just attack any settlement right off the bat because he starts with the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which is pretty beneficial, not in terms of like the DPS it does, but kind of gives him the siege attacker trait if you keep it, because you can just go in and attack right away. So what do we really need? I think Militia Master is going to be really good early game. Yeah, we want spells, we want Chain Lightning and stuff, but we're not going to be able to have it for the next battle anyway, and Flock of Doom upgrades only going to give us a slower cooldown. It will give us Overcast. Extended effect duration. That could actually be pretty important. You know what? I'll go with that. I think the Overcast will be better because we're not going to get Militia Master before the battle either. We'll definitely get this very soon though. Get that +8 melee attack for all Spearmen, Archers, and Lothern Seaguard, and the +8 melee defense as well. We'll go Flock of Doom. So Overcast version will be nice. And next turn we'll attack. Yeah, the public order problem is definitely a thing here. Thankfully, the Great Turtle Isle does have pretty nice garrison. 4 archers, 4 Lothern Seaguard. Means if there is a rebellion, not the biggest deal, should be able to defend itself pretty easily. So we will be recruiting plenty of spearmen and archers, so we'll go militia training next. End turn right there. I haven't gotten any of those intrigue events yet. Oh, they're sallying out. Interesting. That's very interesting. That's a bad idea, abandoning your walls. I'll take it though. We gambled and we lost, boys. We started with 9 wins of Magic, gambled, and now we have 7. I don't think we're going to win anymore. I don't know what they were thinking. That was not a good idea, sallying out and leaving the safety of their walls, because that's going to make this battle a hell of a lot easier for me. Whatever.
Teclis.
I'll take it. Grawwool, or whatever that old blood's stupid name is. He's going to die real soon. So we're going to move Teclis up here. I'm actually going to let my Sword Masters make a bigger impact on this game, and we'll try to get more close-ups of them. Because I know people have been asking for some kill animations. There are some very cool ones, even for lords in this game now. And not just on monster mounts. Malekith, I think you guys might have seen it in Lionheart's and Pixelated Apollo's campaign. You can see Malekith do a kill animation on a regular infantry unit, like against the Skaven. He like bashes his face, knocks him to his knees with his shield, and then like cuts his head off with his sword. When the blood pack comes in, I assume a couple days after launch, yeah, you'll see that decapitation. So that's pretty cool. These archers are about to rip stuff up as per usual. We're gonna get a fireball here into the old blood. There it goes. Woo! And it misses. Nice shot. Actually grazed them, but nice, Teclis. Nice. Now we're gonna start shooting. Where the Saurus at? Kill a Saurus. Skink cohort are gonna die super easy. Pull Teclis back. Charge in. Start slaughtering. Yeah, start shooting the Saurus. And now Swordmaster time, boys. Now, obviously, getting close-ups while battle's raging, probably not ideal. We'll get them into melee. Some charge bonuses off. But this is going to be a pretty easy battle anyway. Phoenix Guard, by the way, have some really cool animations. They'll do these spinning attacks that are completely new. Like, not just Great Sword or regular halberd animations. Very unique stuff for them. I mean, it's going to be a while before we get Phoenix Guard, but I'll try to show off as many of the new unique animations as I can. I don't know that Swordmasters have a ton of unique animations, but a lot of the new units do. Archers, you guys need to pull back. You're chasing after stuff. Phoenix, go land on the skink. Blessed Chameleon skinks on the field. Spearman, get a rear charge off. Probably do something with Teclis. We'll do Overcast right there. That'll do a decent amount of damage. Swordmasters, where you at? Up to 96 kills already. How you guys doing? I haven't watched them in Melee too much. Those look like just the regular greatsword animations to me. So I don't know for sure if they have any new ones. Either way, they're kicking ass, that's for sure. And archers. Look at the Phoenix just tanking everything. Oh, they got more reinforcements. Sorry, I'm gonna start focusing on the battle now. Teclis is taking some shots here. We're gonna flock a Doom. Oh yeah, that'll be glorious. Can you pull out of that? With the Spearman up. Rear charge that should route, and then I don't want to fireball into the old blood because it'll just hurt my Swordmasters, who have actually started taking a decent amount of damage. We'll start shooting into Sword Spears. Move on up. 124 kills, up to 3 Chevs now. So yeah, those Swordmasters are very quickly going to start getting into silver and gold Chevs, which will be very nice. Not going to engage those Saurus Warriors in melee on the slope. That would be a very bad idea. So we'll shoot them down. The Phoenix. Where's the old blood at? Is that him? No. Alright, well, we'll just terrorize them from behind. Big charge coming in from the rear, boys! And a -9 melee attack will be super nice. They're out of control. We can engage them now. Teclis, how you doing? He must have he must have damaged himself with some overcast. Yeah, we're slaughtering them. It's going perfectly, just as planned. Alright, can you try not miscasting this time? Alright, you didn't. Thank you. And that will do a pretty serious amount of damage to that blob. Get rid of those Saurus, and then it should be auto route. Phoenix, go in there. Turn off. Shoot them. Pop one more enfeebling foe. Chase after them. Let's take a look at the Blessed Chameleon Skinks. They're so cute! Oh my god, they're so cute. They're like little Power Rangers. Little gecko Power Rangers. I love it. Yeah, they're dead. Or they're gonna die. Phoenix, let's kill a couple of them. Show them how blessed they really are to die at the hands of the Azure. 22 kill, 23. Alright. We're not going to be able to chase them down. We're going to try to get Illyrian Reavers pretty early on, just so we have like 2 light cav or so to run down enemy routers. That went well. 1,000 gold, a Luckstone. What else? We got to rank 4.5. Okay. Okay. Yeah, take the replenishment, man. That'll get them all the way up to full. I need that. We're basically just gonna make them slaves, you know. Pretty common thing. Bring the Lizardmen slaves back to back to Ultron. That's how we roll. Basically turning into the Dark Elves.
Destroy them. Elfry.
Alright, and then we can auto-resolve this with very minimal casualties, I would think. Minimal as in half of our spearmen. Okay. Alright. And then another 1,600 gold. Okay. So our economy, not really making anything right now, which is fine. That'll change pretty soon, I think. We will occupy because we are in a temperate climate, one that we enjoy.
Behold, my power.
And Graul is dead. So Sentinel Society are ours. Let's take a look at the rights. I haven't shown those off yet. Dragon Horn. That's pretty strong. Oh, plop those on... Yeah, you plop those on Swordmasters, they're gonna go to work, dude. I like that. Alright. Let's take a look at what rights we can enact. So, This one is pretty strong, and this is probably what we're going to do very early on, just to maybe stabilize our public order a bit. Yeah, Invocation of Missourian. Lasts for 5 turns. We get influence, which is a big thing. Getting plus 10 influence over the course of this rite will be pretty important because it'll mean we can make at least 2 factions love us pretty early on. And then we get plus 4 public order. Of course, we don't need to make those factions love us until we can actually establish trade. As in, we have a trade route directly to their capital. So, and then construction cost minus 15. So we'll perform this right now. 2,000 gold, definitely worth it for us. Alright, and now I think we're gonna build actually another militia camp, because it's very annoying ferrying troops over from Great Turtle Isle, and I can't really afford to go all the way back if I lose a unit. So
Master of the White Tower.
We're gonna just build one here, as much as I would like to just build an economy building. And we have 2 points here. Okay. So, I mean, the obvious thing here is net and chain lightning. We'll go for Militia Master very soon, I promise. But, I mean, hell, you guys probably like this even better. This is going to be very visually stimulating, you could say. Net and chain lightning. That'll be fun. Plop that on a big blob, both of them, and things are going to die. And he's got the Winds of Magic pool to make that very viable as well, so.
Orders?
We'll wait until that's recruited. I don't want to deal with global recruitment. But look at diplomacy here. Yeah, we could trade with Bloodhole Coven, but we're never going to make them like us. Look at that. Aversion minus 60. Yeah, that hurts a bit. So, see, look at that. Already, after 1 building, 144 elven trinkets like this trade is already making us 200 gold per turn. So good, dude. Like, it was a really good implementation. It's not even something I don't think CA's talked about very much. They haven't talked about it in their playthroughs on YouTube. Maybe on Twitch, because I haven't seen all their streams, but yeah, like, they went into the lore there and were like, yeah, these guys have naval supremacy. They do have really powerful trade because they want to dip their paws into everything. Get inside everybody's courts, get inside, just get their diplomacy going, and that's what they do, and they get some really powerful trade. The best I've seen in Total War Warhammer, for sure, either game. Golden Ziggurat, not going to upgrade that yet again, because we're 5 turns away from upgrading Great Turtle Isle. Maybe that's a mistake, maybe it's better to just use the point early on. I don't really know. Does it, like, if I did this, would it improve growth? Yeah, it does, actually. Okay, then I probably should have just done that, because it would have given an overall boost in growth. Whatever. It's not going to matter. I don't need secondary settlement there anytime soon. We'll move on the Golden Colossus very soon. And I don't think they'll stab Sentinels of Zeti in the back. I don't think they'll declare war on us quite yet. I don't think they want us. They don't want it, dude. We got a full stack. Kick their ass. Alright, so they're making it easy for me. Can we get money out of this? Alright, I'll take 300 gold for that. And we'll get some more influence there as well. Excuse me. Alright, so we're up to 7 influence now. That's enough to manipulate 1 faction. We are getting some way fragments. But we are not able to establish... What is their capital city? It might be that one. So actually getting trade with them might not be that easy. Because we're not going to conquer these settlements. We're going to actually move south right now and raise it to the ground. Well, sack it, then raise it.
There is no limit to my power.
One more spearman. Should be about 2, maybe 3 turns before we take Golden Colossus. That'll be a super easy fight, I would think. They won't have a full army by the time we get there. Thankfully, we're not going to take attrition when we move into the desert, I don't believe. Although that swamp right there, I think you do take attrition there. Take a look.
My infinite knowledge is yours.
We'll see.
Orders?
We'll wait out 1 more turn. Because if we move out of the settlement, we will lose quite a bit of our replenishment. How much do we lose, though?
Who seeks me?
Not enough for it to matter.
My journey.
Are you trying to backstab me, dude? I wouldn't blame you. It'd be very Dark Elfy. 3 turns. So we don't have to worry about Spine of Sotek attacking me anytime soon because that non-aggression pact. Double fast forward that. Don't really care what you're doing, buddy. So, lots of content on the way, guys. As you can imagine, I got the game back on Monday, and so I've been playing non-stop, so unfortunately I haven't really been able to upload anything this week because I've been focusing on stockpiling as much footage as I can. There's a lot of really fun stuff coming, dude. Like, a lot of videos and something special that you'll hear about pretty soon. I won't spoil that yet.
There is no
But
limit
it's
to
gonna
my
be
power.
a blast for sure. So, probably gonna be uploading 2 or 3 videos a day. Campaign every day up until launch, I would think. Or pretty much every day. I'm gonna stockpile as much of this campaign as I can before the other embargoes lift and other stuff like that. But there's just gonna be so much content. You guys might even get bored of Total War Warhammer 2 before you start playing it.
My steps.
It's a great game, man. It really is. Like, yeah, I get it early, so yeah, you might say, oh, you're gonna say good things about it no matter what. Seriously, this game is really good. It has flaws, as all Total War games do. And these are things that we'll talk about as we play more, learn more about the game, and as we play multiplayer and free-for-all and see the faction balance and all that. But seriously, it's a very polished game. Visually stunning, great ambiance, and dude, I already have 30 hours on the game, man. I already have 30 hours on it. Played a bunch of multiplayer, a bunch of free-for-all.
Attack!
This game is an absolute blast. It's not everything I could ever want, but in terms of a Total War game, but it's one of, if not the best I've played in these 30 hours, which is, it's a bit early to say that it's my favorite all time. Shogun 2 is still my favorite. I think I like Shogun 2 even more than Warhammer 1, but yeah, we're gonna auto-resolve this. Easy fight.
Another victory.
But yeah, Warhammer 2 setting is just so
Victory has its
amazing.
perks.
So flavorful. The races are so much better than Game 1's races.
Claim their meager treasures.
We're not going to occupy because of the reasons I've already stated. We'll sack it.
Sack this place. My powers are
Get a bit more XP, and then we will loot.
Who seeks me?
4 Sentinels of Zeti, man. They did nothing wrong, but they got in my way. So I guess they did do something wrong. And if you get in Teclis' way, he's going to drop the hammer on you, for sure. We have not gotten to see the Chain Lightning combo yet. We'll see that very soon. That is so much fun. Magic in general, much more impactful in this game than it was in Warhammer 1, I feel. I'm curious if that's going to be how they keep it going once the full, quote-unquote, final patch comes out for the release patch. That I guess I'll be getting tomorrow. Yeah, there's going to be balancing and, of course, a lot of other stuff, but in the build that I have right now, Magic is very impactful. A lot of the vortexes that were absolute garbage in Game 1 are much more usable now. I wouldn't say that they're all amazing, but they can be quite a lot better than they were in Total War Warhammer. Oh, so War Crown of Safri. Let's read this. If I perform the following rite, Invocation of Isha, we'll get the first, we'll start out the quest. War Crown is seldom seen outside the walls of the White Tower. Even Teclis himself wears it only in times of great need, so he sets off to Lustrio without it. However, it quickly becomes apparent that circumstances are dire than even the High Loremaster realized, so he sends for the crown. A pair of great eagles are dispatched from Safri with the crown securely held in their claws. So a little typo there. An epic journey follows, crossing the great ocean and then the continent itself. Perhaps it was inevitable on a flight that long, the elves would not reach Teclis. Something has gone wrong. The crown and its winged escort are lost. An artifact of such power and reverence cannot be allowed to simply vanish. Teclis knows of a ritual of Isha that could be invoked, for a mother always knows where her children lie, and the war crown is of Isha's making. Isha, of course, being the mother of the elven race. And that's not good, so we're going to need to try to track down that war crown. Now, the first time Teclis ever got control of that war crown was during the Great War against Chaos, when the previous Loremaster, or High Loremaster, granted him the War Crown because he realized the Teclis was he had destiny wrapped around him, basically. He realized, hey, this guy's kind of a badass, even though he was frail as a child and he's close to death. Maybe he's going to do something special here. And he was right. He went out and found his brother Tyrion, saved him from the clutches of Nakari, saved the Ever Queen as well, as the hounds of the Dark Elves were hot on their heels. And with that War Crown, he smacked around a couple of Dark Elf armies pretty easy and basically reinvigorated the fire within Malekith's flesh, burnt him to a crisp again, and sent him to the realm of chaos, which was the only place he could escape the flames of Missourian. So, yeah, Teclis is a badass for sure, and with that War Crown, he's an absolute monster. So we want to get that as soon as possible. So we're gonna attack Golden Colossus here.
Steady hand is needed.
And I'll resolve it again. And raise it to the ground.
Demolish everything. My power.
Up to rank 7 now, some more influence, decent amount of gold in the treasury. Things are going well. One of the critiques I do have of the High Elves campaign is you don't really get very many cool units for quite a while. It takes a bit to get anything actually fun. And the starting units for them are really not as awesome as I wanted. I think Teclis's are much more interesting than Tyrion's. Tyrion starts with a Reaper or an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower and a Flame Spire. The Flame Spire is cool. The Eagle Claw is just super boring. I would have much rather he started with like Dragon Princess of Calidor or something like high tier that you don't get access to like much later into the campaign. They might save that for DLC factions like Emmerich of Calidor. If he comes, he'll probably start with like a Star Dragon. Or he might even start with Minaithir, his own Star Dragon. But yeah, I mean Swordmasters, Teclis is an exception, I guess. Frostheart and Swordmasters of Hoeth, those are pretty awesome starting units. Tyrions are a bit boring. Alright, so Great Turtle Isle, we are 1 turn away now. Can't force march because I raised. As soon as we take Chamber of Visions, we can also build a new trade building, which will even more importantly increase our trade output towards the Citadel of Dusk. Or Dawn. I think that might be what it was. Who are we trading with? Dawn? Dusk. Okay, and then the Fortress of Dawn is... Well, Fortress of Dawn I think is over here. And then... I think they might also have a Lizardmen subfaction that chills on that island. So we'll try to get trade with them pretty soon as well, but we need that hero first. There we go. So we're going to upgrade you to an Elven colony, get some bonuses there, force march back to Sentinels of Zeti, and attack Chamber of Visions. Research is available, so we're going to go Archery Prowess now. Reload reduction time, 15% for Archers and Lothran Seaguard units. Pretty strong. And the right is active for another... Is it? No, I think it just ended actually. Yeah, the right has ended. So 2 turns from now, attack Chamber of Visions, and then we'll look at sailing over to that little island continent and getting rid of that. I guess I should really sort out the Mud Isles ruins and get the whole province under control. Should I do that now? They're not building stuff. They're just garrisoned. I don't know if they have a second army over in the Bloodhole or what they're doing.
There is no limit to my power.
We are going to... I'll send Mills of Zeti. Oh, there he wasn't even son of... Yeah, we'll force march. We'll get these ruins, because getting the whole province under my control, getting that tax rate up or something will be good. Might even get a cool item.
Onward. Your orders are foolish.
Alright. Shut up. Don't tell me that. We're taking attrition. That's interesting. Okay, I don't... You're saying a sea storm. I'm not exactly seeing a storm right now. That looks pretty calm to me. That's weird, because normally there's an effect if there's an actual storm at sea. I mean, the attrition's not going to matter. But... Don't you dare backstab me, Dark Elves. I will put the smack... I mean, I'm going to put the smack down on you anyway, but... Don't you dare. Don't you dare march south. Not going to be good. Wow, that's actually some serious attrition.
Tremble before me. Attack!
So do we colonize, or do we treasure hunt? Can you treasure hunt and then colonize? I've never actually done a treasure hunt. This is literally going to be my first time doing it. This is probably not the ideal way to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I've never seen what happens. Disturbing the dead. Okay, so while scouting the outskirts of a recently ruined settlement, you notice on the edge of town a small, secluded graveyard. The graves look remarkably fresh, considering that the whole place was abandoned in rather a hurry. Oh god, I could dig up the graves. I could magically search the graves. That sounds like what Teclis would do. I could roleplay a bit. Search the area for tracks or leave the graves alone. That sounds boring. Let's magically search them. Oh, okay. Sweet. Very exciting. Okay. So that's it?
Oath one!
Okay, it can't be colonized on that turn, but it can be colonized next turn. I thought it might, like, make it permanently uninhabitable or something, which would have sucked. So I guess we'll just colonize. Which will be fine, because then we'll be able to enact a little bit of a provincial edict. Should help. And, oh, we've got Clan Pestilence moving west. Hello. Is that Scroll? That is Scroll. Level 3. He's not been kicking ass. What is Teclis already level 8? 7. And the Spine of Sotek is going to be in trouble very soon if they don't get their asses moving. Maybe they have an army in mind in the Bearded Skull, but they better underway over there. Their Scroll's going to just roll through them.
High Loremaster.
Alright.
Attack! Master of the White Tower.
So 5 influence gained there. And we've got the province secured. Okay. So looking at edicts, we can use Untainted to banish corruption. Get more unit experience. Growth. Growth is pretty good right now. I could use that. You know what? This will be amazing when you stack that up. Oh my god, dude, that'll be so good once we've got a couple provinces under our belt. But not yet, because we don't have that much trade going. I think growth is probably the play right now. We'll go growth and then we'll change it to trade if I can remember. Hopefully I remember. Hello, Clan Pestilence. Do you like me? I bet you don't.
I see you.
Minus 48. So yeah, they're gonna hate me pretty soon. And let's take a look again at how much that trade is worth. Okay, so till 218 still. Trying to get more trade goods very soon. And then we'll sail back over to the main continent once we've got a little bit more replenishment. Now we've got some buildings to choose from. I'm gonna show the building browser here in the Great Turtle Isle. So really what we want to work our way towards are, of course, the high tier stuff. Star Dragons and Dragon Princes. So a Dragon Keep will be incredibly nice to have. Being able to work our way to Phoenix Guard, again, will be amazing. Shrine of Missourian, we could actually create one right now, it looks like. I think pretty soon they're going to want us to build that for one of our other quests, I believe. But we're going to want to upgrade the docks, because that'll give us 200 more income per turn. So upgrade those docks to a harbor. It'll give us more growth as well. Don't really need to upgrade this, because I'm not really recruiting anything in Great Turtle Isle at the moment. Which, to be fair, I guess I don't really need the building at all. Huh. Should I just get rid of it and make an... Yeah, you know what? Let's just make an economy building. I really don't need it right now. Yeah, I'll demolish it. So, can make a Shrine of Missourian, which unlocks cultural advancements, but then I would need to build other buildings to actually unlock the other parts of the tech. Could go for an archive and use one of these mages that I could recruit to go scouting and get some more trade agreements to get my economy kickstarted, which would be pretty strong. That might be really smart. Exotic Animal Tamer. Another trade good, which will be real nice. Or walls. Now, I am going to come under assault quite soon, once this first ritual is completed from the Forces of Chaos. And Great Turtle Isle will be in the crosshairs, I believe. So, I might need walls pretty soon. I don't need them now, though. Plaza, more elven trinkets, or an elven embassy. The elven embassy is really good. I'm going to focus strictly on economy stuff for right now. So we'll go elven embassy to unlock trade advancements. And then for the other one, we'll go the trade building, that unique resource. We'll upgrade here. And it'll be a couple more turns before they're able to go back. I'll go back very soon. Research available? Let's take a look. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The other parts don't really unlock until you get those specific buildings. You basically, all these red you see here, you need a specific building to unlock that part of the tech tree. And there are a lot of unique buildings in the High Elf building browser. So we'll go... Probably get Illyrian Reavers pretty soon, so we'll go for plus 10 armor on them. The rest of the part of that tech tree doesn't really matter to me at all, but nothing else to research, and yeah, let's go. So Dark Elves are going to be the next little faction that I slaughter. I need to get kick-started on those rituals, and best way to do so is to get those way fragments popping. And that means you got to conquer those purple settlements, the ritual resource sites. I don't know where another one is that's close to my... There might only be one per continent, maybe only a handful. But they all start relatively close to each of the starting positions. Alright. So, I need to build one of these. We will build exotic animals. 32 cages of those. And that should make a pretty big impact on our trade output. No, you know what though? No, but I need to start scouting as early as possible. That's the thing. Like, I'll make a decent trade output just from that one trade agreement, but it's so much more important to find other factions so I can start spending my influence on stuff. Because I really don't need a second army yet. So we'll go for the Archive. It's expensive, but I'll get a level 5 mage as soon as I recruit them. Might have to spend some influence on them to get a good trait, but...
Master of the White Tower.
Looks like 2 more turns and they'll be back up to full. Then we'll move northwards. We might have to run into Clan Pestilence pretty soon. Would probably be good to get rid of them before they become an actual nightmare and start spreading a bunch of Skaven corruption. Alright. Attack a force belonging to the following faction. Well, I don't see where they are. Where are they at? Here we go. So this is where we really generate a lot of influence here. Might have to pay some money though. Come from all buildings, plus 10. The -5 public order is no joke. I don't like that at all. Okay, so High Elves at court partake in many manipulations to achieve their ends. A common tool is to employ lesser elves and servants as go-betweens, whispering little birds carrying messages. This is not unexpected, but when one of these messengers is intercepted or revealed, there can be no choice but to excoriate them. Excoriate? I don't use that word very often. Don't know how to pronounce that. To save oneself. Having one such messenger revealed, how do you advise the Phoenix King? How do you advise the Phoenix King response? So, we can denounce him and get minus income, a little bit of income reduction, but not a lot. But we'll get more influence for that. I don't like that. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need that much influence. The -5 public order for 5 turns, it's a lot. Really not worth it. Tax rate. We'll go denounce the messenger. Phoenix King demonstrates that he is above the games of court by publicly shaming his messenger. Play the game, you're gonna get burnt, bro. Yeah, you played the game and you got caught. Too bad. Goodbye is one of those, but we'll go for denounce the messenger. There's the faction, okay. So I'll get 2,000 gold if I beat that army. So I guess we'll kill him.
My infinite knowledge is yours.
Yeah, it's an Empire faction right here. So we got Free Company, some Outriders. Interesting. So we've got a rogue army at the Great Turtle Isle. We'll stay in here one more turn for the rest of that replenishment. You're gonna do anything, or you're just gonna sit there? You weirdos. So, in case you didn't know, all those rogue armies, all of them have black and red banners. So that kind of differentiates them, so you know that they're what they are. We're getting another one, back-to-back influence events here. So a dispute has developed between the nobles of Safari and Yvresse, two of the High Elven kingdoms on Ulthuan, whom the Saphirian Elves call the Ghosts of Glory. Although the petty, clandestine squabbles of lower houses are never usually a concern for the Phoenix King, the Saphirian Elves bristle with magical power. Willis Tor Yvresse is one of the most defensible, if dangerously ill-garrisoned, cities in Ulthuan. Harmony between these two houses is preferable, but if not possible, then someone somewhere must be appeased. So I can pay gold to get a bunch of influence. It'll be pretty good. And it's actually the only way to generate influence on this turn. So, yeah, it kind of hurts. But that influence will be put to good use later on. So we've got a lot of influence now. That's some serious diplomatic bonuses.
Master of the White Tower.
So I don't really have a lot of money, but after I beat this battle, we will.
There is no limit to my power.
I don't think we're gonna need to fight that. I think an auto-resolve will probably do just fine. They're still sitting there. Dude, that faction is useless. They might have just been neutered by CA just so, like, all the way fragment settlements probably just don't build a lot of troops so that you can take them pretty easily. Because they are really important if you want to do the ritual stuff. You can see I'm already kind of lagging behind the other factions because I'm taking a bit longer to capture that settlement. Not that it matters. It doesn't matter if they beat me to the first ritual. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. But it still kind of does kick your ass into high gear because you're like, oh god, what if they beat me? What if they beat me to the last ritual? I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. We'll probably be invading the other continents before that even happens. Oh, hey, look, Spina Sotek actually doing something. Dwarfs, get off your ass, man. I mean, I'm non-aggression pact with you right now, but I have no problem starting a second War of the Beard if you guys don't start doing something about Clan Pestilence. Got no problem with that whatsoever. Alright. Time of Heroes, we got some gold from that.
Ready.
Recruit one hero. What a good idea. Wonder why I never thought of that. So how much did that increase my trade output? Not a whole lot, because the trade isn't that much at the moment. But it did unlock the other traits. Alright.
There is no limit to my power.
The people are rested.
You seek knowledge.
Yep, I'm declaring war on you. I'm gonna kill you.
Today unleashed.
Yeah, that's
My powers are needed here.
Alright. Don't care about your replenishment. Right now I care more about gold. So we're gonna ransom you off. And I'm gonna finish you off. Get a bit more influence there. Level you up. What are we looking at? Another Militia Master or Potion of Shiroi. So that's a pretty cool ability. If you are taking damage, you can put all your spells on cooldown for 30 seconds. All of them. And your bound spells as well. But you'll get a lot of replenishment and 44% damage resistance. So basically if he gets tied down in melee and you start losing HP, you can pop that. Not super worried about it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really need that right now. I'll go for this. I think that's more impactful. We'll finish that and then maybe get it.
Another victory.
And we're going to finish off this army, get a bit more gold,
Steady
a bit more XP. One kill. And the Hell of a Fortune. Alright.
Gods.
So, campaign is starting out pretty well. What research do we have available? We go to military advancements 2. Or trade advancements, which won't do anything for me. How much gold do we have? 7,000. Yeah, we can afford it. I don't care about any of these others. So we'll skip the first part of the tree now and move on to tree number 2. Get some light Ithilmar armor. And public order is still an issue in this place.
As I expected.
What are we looking at? Still be a while. I'm gonna upgrade these settlements. And what are we gonna build here? Yeah, definitely a port. That's 200 income for. It'll be only like 3.5 turns before we pay that off. So definitely worth it. Doc's always a great source of income. I love this OST. I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was Badeau. I don't know if it was Jeff Van Dyke. I don't know if it was neither of them. But the ambiance, definitely for the High Elf faction. I believe each faction has their own OST. But it's damn good. I'm a fan.
Hoeth's chosen.
What's the fastest way? Is there? Oh, there's a short right here. Yeah, we'll do that.
Going.
And now they're going to be very mad. Dude, we need to do that right again. Alright, hold up. How much money do we get if we do the Invocation of Isha? Yeah, that's 1,500 gold and 30 influence. Dang. I haven't used it yet. But, oh yeah, we're gonna recruit the hero before I forget. So let's take a look. I can get a Lore of Life cast. Jesus, 1,600 gold. Okay. And 275 upkeep. That's substantial. 40 influence. I don't want to spend that much. Literally, this person is just going to be scouting for me. Pretty much.
Distant shores beckon.
Peaky. Oh no, physical resistance. Minus 10%. Like I'm going to be throwing her into melee anyway. I don't need to spend influence. You're just a scout. So, Lore of Life, Lore of High Magic. Magic resistance. Who do we want to use? We'll do high just because it's the new lore of magic. And it's very high elven-y, of course. So we'll go for her uninhibited. Oh no. 10% magic resistance less for, or no. They get 10% magic resistance. For local enemy armies you'll never be fighting, really. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So we'll go for that. Harriet.
I hear the Gaddafi.
I'm open to names for her. I'm trying to think if there's something unique I could do. I mean, I could go like a Lariel if I wanted to roleplay, but it wouldn't really make sense. What could we go for? A famous High Elven mage that's a lady. I can't think of very many, to be honest. There's a Lariel the Everqueen. I mean, if I had read Blood of AENARION or any of the Tyrion Teclis books, I'd probably have some names here. I'm gonna let you guys name her. I'm not gonna rename it right now. No point.
There is power in the waves.
So, yeah, we'll keep her at Harriet for now. Not the best name ever.
Surely you are
But
mistaken.
you guys can let me know what I should name her. She's level 6. God dang. So we can get Lilith's Blessing, Apotheosis, Shield of Sapphire. I mean, she's not casting though. Scouting. Yeah, I should really be not... I'm used to making battle wizards, that's the thing. So let's go for something that would actually benefit us when she's moving around the map. Conceal Technology, Cleanse Corruption, or Scout. She might be scouting ruins. We'll put 2 points into it, and then we'll get another in case she does do some battles. I have not used a High Elven Lore of High Magic Mage yet in multiplayer. So let's go Tempest. Hell, why not? Whatever. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what your skill tree is. Next turn, you will start sailing to the Citadel of Dawn and beyond to Ulthuan after
My
that.
infinite knowledge is yours.
And you
With haste, embark.
swim over here, sail over here, get back in Sentinels of Zeti. Chamber Visions will fall soon. Research. Alright. Armor. Yeah. I like armor. That is one thing about the High Elves in general. Pretty low armor. They will get beaten up in a lot of situations. A little bit squishy. But they do deal plenty of damage in return. At least in campaign, plenty of damage. A lot of people thinking they're going to be the worst faction in multiplayer. Might be true. I've played a lot of multiplayer at this point. What I've played so far, which admittedly is not against the highest tier players in the community, of course, but they're not bad. They're not bad. I can't say this early, like, there's no meta, right? Like, we're just playing with YouTubers and a select few other people. So there's no real way to know how the meta's going to shake out. They might end up being weak. They might end up being super strong. With the stats they have right now, I really don't know. But they are more than capable of winning multiplayer battles. I will say that. Which I think some people were saying, like, there's no way that was going to happen. Relax, guys. Relax. They're in capable hands. They are going to be more than capable of winning plenty of MP games. And they have. I've won plenty with them already. Alright, influence, unhappy populace. No, I hate that, dude. That's so bad. -5 public order for all settlements is so bad. I could pay a little bit of money for a bit more influence. I could ignore the power games. The Seneschal of the court controls the flow of information to and from the Phoenix King. He is therefore an important figure with great power. It is discovered that the Seneschal has been choosing which info reaches the court in order to maintain his power and reduce that of others. It's a shrewd tactic, but courtiers are only as smart as the secrets they hide. Once exposed, they are powerless. Ooh, I could get more income from trade. That would be really good later on in the campaign, man. Circumvent him. Minus leadership doesn't matter at all, really. Yeah, let's do that. Even with minus leadership, I'm still going to win all my battles. Because I'm a boss.
Yes.
So you know what? I think we're going to end part 1 here and go immediately into part 2. I'll probably be uploading 1 hour-long campaign part, or maybe even hour and a half. It depends how long they actually go. But hour to hour, 15-minute, hour and a half campaign video per day for the next 5 or so days, and then we'll see how the schedule shakes out from there. Definitely want to make sure that you guys watch as much of this campaign as you possibly can before you get your hands on the game and start caring less about this campaign in general. So yeah, lots of campaign footage coming, lots of multiplayer, lots of free-for-all, lots of Total War Warhammer 2 goodness. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Definitely check out part 2, and I will see you as we move through this Teclis campaign and we establish a new empire, the Order of Loremasters. See you next time, Mini Pride, signing out for now.